So I just think, girl, don't act like this is, oh, so now something has turned the corner. I just it's gonna take more than that for me. And yeah, and she's like, I wish she was here. I also think she, I don't want to say performed better, but I feel like she was more herself when he wasn't there. Like climbing the tree and doing all those things. Like I do think that she has that in her to be that uh person, that outspoken, outgoing person, and just, competitive and everything when he wasn't there. That's it.
I was actually very impressed by Jasmine with her climbing that log. I was like, look at this girl. This girl, she getting at it. I was like, all right, showing her flexibility, her athleticism. Oh yeah, there's a lot hiding behind there. There's a lot hiding behind there. She just need that key unlocked.
Yes, I said there's a lot more to her. And if he
Jay,
wasn't,
I know what I'm talking about.
and he
Turn the
wasn't
key
so
on.
pissy about it, and well, you need to be less humble, and and she would do it. She would just, that would be herself. I think there's more to Jasmine that we're just not seeing.
Yeah,
That's
definitely a lot
that's
more.
no, I and that's very true. The thing is though, is the type of relationship that she wants, she just can't have. And I think if she was better connected with Shaq, like sorry, with Aris, if Aris was really feeling her, then she would be doing those type of things. She has that in her, but I think the way that he's showing up with her is making her hold back bits of her personality.
And, now that we're talking about this, the way that he first showed up with her, like kind of like the put downs, and I'm not really attracted to you, and all of those things, the first couple of weeks, if that kind of brought her, it pulled her into a shell. And so now it's been taking her longer to pull out of that shell. You know what I mean? When somebody shows you that person first, and like comes off as a put down, and I'm not attracted to you, and all your insecurities show up first, you don't know how to be that outgoing person. So now that he's not around, and she feels like she doesn't have to perform for him, she's out there. Yeah.
I mean, but she does need to spice it up. I know you touched on this earlier, Trey, about you liking a little bit of spice. She does need to just kind of spice it up a little bit because, even during the little game that they had when they were playing the couples game, it's like, all right, Jasmine, just please, 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 just tell us something, lady. Oh, I don't want to talk about it. That's where the pageant answers is coming from. Oh, I don't know. I'm not approved, but oh, come on. You're killing us. Just have a little fun. Let your hair down. Figuratively.
I do wonder if Jasmine was a little bit more forward, how would that affect Eris? Because I'm getting the feeling like if she was just not even by much, a tad bit more aggressive, just tad, this might be a whole different type of situation. Because that kind of goes in line with her voicing her opinions, her standing up for herself, her spiciness, as we're calling it.
But
Like he
remember,
responds to that.
she told him she's ready to do more. Because she told him pretty much, you do all this talking, but we ain't done nothing. Baby, are you done
But
talking?
but
I'm
she's
ready.
not she's not an initiator. That
But
her
she told
problem.
him, no, 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 no,
She's
no.
ready.
Okay,
She's
I
No,
ready.
know
no,
you're
no.
She's ready.
She
trying to
has
work
been.
for
She
both
has been
men,
the initiator.
and that's
It's been,
definitely not going to work for Aris. She's told him he has the green light. John Legend, give me the green light. She gave him the green light. He don't want it. He told her
That's true.
we gonna wait till after decision day if before we have sex. So he don't want it because he don't want the commitment. So it's
But
not
that's
nothing.
my point. But that's
Yeah,
my
there's
point.
nothing she can. That's what I'm saying. There's nothing she can do
True.
to turn
True.
this around. It's Aris that just don't want her and don't want the seriousness of a relationship.
True. But that's my point. Well, we already know it's not going to work. I'm just saying, in an imaginary world, like to your point, she gave him the green light, meaning she gave him the green light. She's not giving herself the green light. She gave him the green light. Hey, bring that energy over. I'm ready for it, because we know she's been ready for it. But my point is, she's giving him the green light. She's not giving herself the green light. She's not an initiator. She's willing to go places. She's willing to do things, but she's not going to be the first to walk through the door. That's not her. You know, she wants somebody to hold her hand and walk her through the door.
I think that at this, but when a lot of ladies, like, she wants to be a lady at that the initiator point. No, she's not an initiator. But if he would initiate, if a man initiates, then she's ready. She's not gonna. She wants to be a lady at first, and then but she's let him know, I'm open, I'm interested, and he has not been open. He's not been interested when it comes to sex and everything else. And when it comes to any type of intimacy, because JR said a couple weeks ago, and it's all true, we all know it, you don't have to have sex to be intimate. And he has not wanted to know any type of intimacy. He has made them. And she said he has friend zoned me week one.
Yeah.
So that's why we have not seen that competitive side of Jasmine. We have not seen that open side of Jasmine. I'm sorry. And if he would have just initiated a little bit, we would have seen a different side of Jasmine. We would have. So I don't mind her. I don't blame her for not being an initiator. But he hasn't given her anything to give her. Yeah. So.
And I think she's tried many different angles trying to crack Aris, right? You know, she hasn't just been there sitting there waiting for him to make moves. I think she's been very vocal. I think she's expressed not only to him, but to Dr. Pepper and, you know, the experts, and she's also expressed to the group her situation with Aris and what she feels would make them move further. She's done that progressively. And even though Aris has been there some of the time to hear it, most of the time he's heard, it just doesn't shift him. He doesn't move. It goes in, yeah, like Crystal was saying, it goes in one ear and out the other. He doesn't want to initiate because he has his own hang-ups. So it doesn't really matter what she says at this point, because she's tried so many different ways to get him to a point where he feels comfortable enough to initiate something with her, and he isn't even feeling her that much to even do that.
What's sad, and this is my last point and we can move on, but what's sad is if she would have done some toxic behavior, like I remember when they were playing that Connect 4 game and she started like mocking him, I think that's the turn on. I think that if she would have walked around that house with a bodycon dress and ignored the hell out of him and walked out the house and went to hang out with her friends and her family and not said nothing to him, and he would have been so turned on by that, then he would have probably started to initiate. Then he would have started trying to do something. But she's so nice, and she doesn't. That's not how she works. That's not how anybody should work. But
Aris likes a bit of toxic, just a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's funny if you notice in the beginning, right? That first episode, the night they after the wedding and they went to the room to spend the first night together. Jasmine was actually wearing something pretty nice. Aris actually responded to that. But if you notice her energy for the rest of the night, let's just say it wasn't given for him. It was very blasé. She was very reserved. It seemed like he was expecting, when she came out dressed like that, he was expecting like, hey, all right, you about to turn up the heat, bring some energy. But she didn't. And after that day, he's been kind of iffy on her. You know, when her energy didn't match what she first put out, he's been iffy on her. Not his fault, not her fault. It's just what happened. It's just what happened.
But the problem is even if that did happen and that swayed him for those brief moments, it's not sustainable because it's not based on a genuine connection. It will just be based on how she presented herself at that time. And that's not enough for them to be in this process and say yes to each other. Like there'll be days where she's not gonna put on the slinky number and give him the cold shoulder and the toxic treatment because she doesn't seem like that type of person. So if she has to put on an act to get him to even remotely show interest, then again, it just shows you how flawed the actual connection is. So yeah, Sean, like it's like they probably can be friends. They haven't slept together so far, and it would still be a big mistake if they did because she likes him or is prepared to give him a lot more, grace in this situation than he's prepared to even give her. And the sexual component needs to be left out. Her feelings will get hurt more because she cares more. She has more feelings. And yeah, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say something wild, even though we know this is not gonna happen. But what if this fool actually says yes on decision day? What if he actually says yes? And he will have to go first, which I think is going to happen. He's going to go first. What if he says yes?
If he says yes, then the marriage will not have any joy. Like the way that Aris is, and the more I think about it, he's sort of like Chris. It's like there's something that's on his mind or something that's affecting him that, it's just something that the partner can't help with. It's something that he has to overcome himself. And he, at no point in time have I felt like Aris is joyfully, like happy to be with her. No point in time. So if he did say yes, it'll be signing up for a longer time with her in a relationship where he isn't happy. And she definitely isn't because she's cried over the situation already.
I really think that he may, if he goes first, like we said, I said, if this guy says yes, I truly believe that he's thinking in his head, there must be something wrong with me. It must be something. He's like, it's not her, it's me. Like, what's going on with me that I'm not like giving to, at least giving into this process, whether we don't work out or not. So he, in his mind, that's why I said after this is preparing him for the next relationship. He is putting a mirror up to himself. But if he says yes, this is why. Why would you do that to her? Because then she's gonna feel like, well, maybe I should try. Maybe what, girl? Don't do that to yourself. Yeah.
Well, we already know he's already thinking that because he's already said he knows that it's him that's having the problem with the attraction because he's put himself in a position of thinking we don't get take him at his own word, whatever this may mean. He specifically said she knows that she's not an unattractive woman. She's just not what he's been used to. So that puts you in a interesting situation. Like you listen, you can know I see a woman, okay, she's attractive. I know she's attractive. She's just not my particular type that I've been dating or whatnot. So now he's trying to get in his own head that, okay, if she's not my particular type, she's not attractive, then to your point, Crystal, it has to be me. I need to get over this. You know what I'm saying? I need to get past this. And you can at least his last few weeks, at least in his mind, it seems like he's been trying to do that, trying to get past it to a certain extent. I still don't think it's not working. But, well, you know what? I shouldn't give this to him. I'm going to give him a slight bit of grace in this aspect. What he has been attracted to in the past, I think now at his age, he is seeing that, okay, you know what? That might have not been the best thing for me because of what type of personality that has been attached to. This is why I said I think he's tired of being an F boy and he's ready to move on from that. I sincerely think that he's just not ready for it. But I do think in his mind, he's like, I've been out here. It's a bunch of crap. I'm looking for something a little more serious. He just hasn't done the work to actually put himself in a position to be ready for seriousness. You know, he just immediately thought, okay, I'm going to just jump right into it. It doesn't work like that. You have to actively make changes within your life to make yourself ready for something serious. You know, you just can't jump back into it. Now, in this situation, it seems like he's trying to use this process to make himself ready.
I agree with that. I have a question, you guys, because we asked him this a couple weeks ago, and CUA and I said yes. Do you guys think that he's been trying with her? Like I said, in his head, this looks like trying,
Yeah,
but I don't know.
he's been trying. He's definitely
Yeah.
been trying.
I think he would say he's been trying.
Yeah.
But I think at this point, we've realized that Clint, when it comes to Eris, when it comes to Jasmine, he is emotionally unavailable. So if that's the case, he needs to choose himself.
It's interesting. Emotionally unavailable. I want to agree with that, but at least in between them, he's been the only one that's been showing his emotions and showing his true self. Remember, Jasmine for the last few weeks has shut down on him, deservedly so. Eris has been the one that's been showing himself, trying to do the work and be more open, which I think is very funny.
I would say in maybe the last couple of weeks, but remember we've had a whole 2 months of process at this point. So it's too little too late. We know that he's been very, very challenged by this process. And after being with her for as long as they have been around each other and going on dates, and evidently she's still attracted to him enough to want to be patient. But the reason why I don't even think she's shut down completely. I just think she's reached the end of the line. I don't think she knows what to do next. Like I said, she probably feels like she's exhausted many avenues and tried to concede so many times to or try and speak to him to coach him into whatever he's going through to let it out. But I definitely think there is an element of what you said previously, which is he might want this situation, but he's not prepared for the situation. So he's using the process to prepare him now. He thought that he could just jump in and he'll be attracted to the person and, however he thought, but it hasn't panned out that way. Now, he isn't showing sour grapes in terms of being angry and, being argumentative with her, trying to find a way out that way. He has been very verbal. He has been very open, but it's not improving the situation at a rate where I can seriously believe that a relationship's going to form at this point. So that's why I think, of the window of opportunity is gone. So he definitely should choose to not say yes to her, and it's no shade to her. It's just no clicking. There's no chemistry. It just doesn't work.
I still agree with you. But to Jasmine's point, when you said what you said about Jasmine, it made me think about something. And when I say this, don't take this the one way, ladies. But Jasmine, Jasmine definitely still wants him. She wanted him from the start. She was attracted to him. She's in. Her problem is, and this kind of, you might find this issue with a lot of ladies because they most of the time they don't have to deal with this like men do. She's never had to deal with the actually being rejected from a man. Most women don't have to deal with this like men do on a daily basis, whatnot. Because most men will go after women. This is probably the first time she's been in a situation where, by circumstance, because of this process, she had to somewhat go after a man as equally as the man would have to go after her in this process, because you've been put together and married. So you both would have to pursue each other. Most women don't know how to do that and fight with being rejected in some way, shape, or form, because they never really had to, deal with it in their daily lives. I don't think Jasmine's an ugly girl. I think she's very pretty. But to him, like I said, it's not what he's used to. So, he purposely put her in the friend zone, put her to the side, and she's feeling it. And she doesn't know how to really deal with it. But the sad thing about it, to what you're saying is, yeah, if she would definitely, if it goes to decision day and he says yes to her, she's going to be confused, but she's probably going to say yes to it as well, because she still wants him. Like, I can still see in her eyes, like even this episode, Crystal put a nail on the head. He was saying how he kind of missed the dog and missed her hair or whatever. Yet he said it to us on the camera in his little confessional, but he never actually said to her, "I miss you." Jasmine filled in the statement, "Oh, so you miss me." So he never actually had to say it. I went, daggone it. Because I was already thinking, like I said this earlier, first of all, I still don't think he even really liked her like that. But what he was missing was her presence around the house, because he done got used to that. He got used to the dog. He got used to her being around there. Got used to the hair being on the floor. And that's a real thing. We've all probably been through that in our lives. You stay with someone over a period of time. To his point, yeah, hair on the floor, he used to find it annoying. Now it's missing. You find yourself missing it. We've all been through that. But there's a difference of missing that energy that you've been around and missing the actual person that provides that energy in the first place. Those two big differences. And it kind of upset me that Jasmine jumped the gun and provided the answer for him without waiting for him to actually say it, because he was fumbling. He was like, I miss. He said it to the camera in his little confessional. Yeah, I missed her. Well, actually, he only said it because they actually asked him the question. If you saw how it was edited, you could tell they asked him the question, "Did you miss Jasmine?" Yeah, I missed her being there. Then it cut to he's actually with Jasmine now. They're in the place, they got to talk about it. And he was like, "Yeah, I missed the dog. I miss your little hair around." It was a nice little joke. It was funny. I laughed. And I was like, I was looking at Jasmine's face. I went, "Don't say nothing. Don't shut your mouth. Shut up. Don't say nothing. Don't talk. Don't talk." She started talking. I said, "God damn it." She started talking. And she provided the answer for him, and he didn't have to actually have to answer and confront that, and for him to stand on his own words. Especially for men, And it's just me going at all men. Listen, what makes you a man if you saying what you believe in and standing on what you believe in. You know, being held accountable to the words that you put forth and your actions proving those words. You know, Aris has, and this goes to his F boy days. Aris has spent too long of being the F boy and not really holding his own words accountable for himself. If he can scapegoat himself out of the situation, he would. You know what I'm saying? But this is where we at. Sean, you've been too quiet. Let us know something.
Yeah, I'm ready to move on. Unlike Jasmine, I'm ready to let it go. I'm ready to let it go. You know, I
gotta let it go.
As we put a pin in this and move on to the next couple, I don't really think he's doing much of nothing. He's doing a lot of talking, but in terms of efforts and making movement to make this relationship work, no. They are about at the same place that Gina and Clint are, and that's nowhere. And just having a good friendship and somebody to talk to. And I think like we have to move the needle. And he is not moving the needle. And she's giving him all of the alley-oops, all of the openings, all of the windows to say, come get me, but he don't want to get her. So I don't think we should have her do anything. I wouldn't advise her to do anything different, because all that's going to happen is, yes, might it get her a night of intimacy, but it's not going to get her Aris and a husband, and that's what she wants. So I think she should do less of what she's doing now and make a decision for herself. And I think, like, look, ultimately, this could be the lesson, right? To know when to hold them and when to fold them. And I think giving him any in, we don't want an in, because he has shown her nothing at this point that he could be a good husband to her. And that's what she needs and wants. And I don't think he's ready for that. So 30 seconds. Anybody has final comments on Aris and Jasmine before we just mosey on down to Gina and Clint?
Give me Gina and Clint. I got smoke. Okay. Yeah, let's start with the smoke session. Listen, I shouldn't be saying this. I do consider myself a gentleman. I try to act gentleman. That's how my mother raised me. But I'm not gonna lie. I wanted to choke the shit out of Gina this episode. I was like, really? Like, Clint is being too good to this woman. Just way too good. And he knows it. That's the crazy thing. He knows it. Now, don't get me wrong. I understand. I understood her little situation that was happening. It was a big thing for her, whatever. But I did find it crazy and kind of interesting. Like, okay, we found another way to talk about your salon. Like, again, I was really, again, like, because you had to let somebody go or somebody left. I'm like, well, really, again? And Clint showed a lot of grace and gave advice for her in that situation, showing understanding. I'm like, Clint might be proving the husband, the Married at First Sight Husband of the Year award. We should make an award for him because he's winning it. Senator Clint, we need to vote now. Vote now, Senator Clint. Get out there. I want to see your votes. But nah, I'm just like, yo, this is nuts. And it's kind of sad because Gina, I noticed in this episode, especially this episode, she steady trying to put forth the narrative that her and Clint are on the same page as far as how they see each other. As it's just a friendship. And it's a narrative that she's pushing. But Clint has been very steadfast in saying he's still hoping, like, hey, maybe something can still come of this. I'm still giving this a chance. If Gina was more receptive, Clint would be right in there. No problem. But they're still suffering from an issue that stems since the honeymoon. Actually, probably before that, she wasn't. Let's just keep it real. She wasn't really attracted to Clint like that, and it's fine. It's okay. But the way she went about her unattractiveness caused a situation that led him to this point. Because what's killing me, she still at times she brings it up every now and then. She is still acting like that this is Clint's fault for what he said on the honeymoon, not realizing like, wait a minute, I started this because I said to him I didn't like gingers beforehand. And she just conveniently forgot that. I'm like, wait a minute. She's that chick. She's that chick, that Karen type of chick. Like really. Like she every now and then she still like try to push this whole situation on Clint. He said what he said, that's how I feel now. But you just totally forgot you disrespected this man for being a ginger. Like, and how do you expect him to react? Like, I mean, seriously, how did you expect him to react? Just to take it? Nah, he got spicy back with your behind. He matched your energy and you couldn't take it. And the funny thing is, if you really look back to what he said on that honeymoon, it just, yeah, in a certain light, I can see why the ladies got upset and they wanted to ride with one another. I get it. But if you really look at what he said, he didn't really say nothing that wild. He didn't say nothing crazy. All he said was, yeah, usually I've dated skinnier girls than her. That's it. But it could be wild. I can see how that was taken. Honestly, the only one who really took it a certain type of way was Nicole. She gassed that whole situation up. But we know how Nicole rolls. She gassed every situation up, no matter what it is. She even gassed herself up in her own marriage. But we'll get to that. Causing issues where there really don't have to be one. But we'll get to that. But this whole Clint Gina thing, this will really bother me. Like, we know where this is going. We know this ain't gonna work. Why y'all playing in my face like you trying to give this a chance now? Why are you playing in my face like you trying to give this a chance now? Stop it. There's no chances here. There's no chances here. You know what I'm saying? Clint is trying. I commend him for that. Because I do think he really is trying. I do think he really saw Gina and was like, hey, okay, I can work with this. I like her cool. You know what I'm saying? He was good with it. Did y'all catch, what was this last week or this week? Did y'all catch, it was this week. Did y'all catch when they was in the pool, they was in jacuzzi, and Clint showed his other side and he started talking about sex and showed like, nah, I ain't the problem. You the problem, because I'm jacuzzi daddy over here. I'm the life of the party for real. Everybody likes me for real, for real. And did you see they zoomed in on Gina's face? I'm like, woo. She was feeling some type of way. Because she could have been catching all of that deep. But nah, she played herself. Yes, I said it, Crystal. All the deep. Because I listen, I go out on a limb. I bet you that Clint D is crazy. He know how he give it up.
All right, you got 10 seconds, Trey.
All right, yeah, I'm gonna let it go. I'm done with it.
Okay.
Got the horses started walking.
Right. It's my turn. Yeah, I agree with you. Gina, and I don't necessarily always like using this word because people use it wrong. But I feel like she was gaslighting him. I feel like she was turning stuff around on him and acting like he was the one not putting in the work. She was saying, well, he's never made me feel like a wife. He's never made me feel like he wants to pursue me, and he's never done this. He's never done that. And and I'm like, wait a minute. Even if he wanted to make you feel like, you were being pursued and that you were attractive, you would have, you act like he's like a skunk or a porcupine. You wouldn't even have reciprocated in the least. So I was like, girl, what are you talking about? So I was like, Gina gets on my nerves. You know, some people get on your nerves so much that you don't even like just the little things about it. I was like, why do you talk like you chew in your face? I just was like, she was just getting on my nerves. Just every little thing. And actually, when they were in that pool and Clint was like feeling comfortable and he was, you know, talking like that about sex and stuff like that, they zoomed in on her face. And it gave me the impression that she feels like, okay, now one more thing I don't like about him. Like now he's too crass. Now this, now that. I was like, girl, you need to relax. You need to relax. Okay. He's getting custody of the dog. You're not just, that's it. It's done. He was really trying. He's always been at least trying. And you were still stuck on something that happened 2 months ago that I agree with you. She puts herself in, she is a self-sabotager. She puts herself in a position of, I know he's not attracted to my body, or I know he's not attracted. She put herself in a position to be insulted. She finds the part of her that she doesn't like, and then she asked him the question, would you have picked me if we weren't on the show? And then, you know, he said, I'm not, you know, you probably aren't what I usually go for. And she's stuck on it, but that's her fault. Don't ask questions you don't want to hear the answer to. He would have tried to work with it, right? But I want to get to this conversation about the girl at work. Gina, y'all are in Gatlinburg. You're an hour and a half away from the house. You're supposed to be relaxing, and you've still found a way to turn it around to work. Now, this is another example of y'all just being the best of friends, right? You could have, she even said, I guess I'm the type that puts up barriers, and even in my personal life. And you guys could have turned it around and had a conversation about how things are in your actual marriage, because you've put up this barrier, and this is an 8-foot wall. It's in 8 feet deep of bricks, and this man is never knocking it down. But you still couldn't relax and just had a good time and not brought work into it a little bit. And I know it's a shame that the girl quit, but at the same time, he knows more about your business than I bet you know about his business, because all he has been doing, I feel like, that I get the impression, all this man's been doing is listening to you. I don't know that he's, and maybe I don't remember what they said at the end when they were like the question game. I don't remember what that was for them to, but I just feel like he's been doing all the trying, and you haven't given him anything. I just feel like she just be talking about, well, he hasn't done this, and this is on him. And you're the type that doesn't even see what you do wrong until it's over. Maybe I should have relaxed. Maybe I should have done this. Maybe I should have done that. Or after you see yourself, see the playback, maybe somebody is gonna, put a mirror up to this. But I don't know that you've learned anything. So that's it. She just be talking like she's chewing her face, and it's just everything just, yeah. Poor Clint.
JR, what's your thoughts? Gina, Clint.
Yeah, like I definitely agree, and it's something that I've been saying like from pretty early on. Unfortunately, the same thing that's happening with Gina and Clint is symptomatic of most of the couples in this season, right? One of the partners has expressed a like or dislike, and they've done it in a way which there isn't much coming back from. All right. Now, in Gina and Clint's case, when she made the point of saying to him that she doesn't find him attractive because of his features, right? His ginger hair and this, that, the other. These are things that he cannot change. Like, he was born with this, and he's lived most of his life looking like that. So you're hitting someone to the core of who they are, with your preference. And you're right. When he expressed, and it wasn't even done in the same way, but when he expressed that he's used to dating slimmer girls, she did not like the glass house being shattered with the same stone that she threw. She has a very fragile ego, a very fragile sense of self, right? She thinks she's above him in the looks department. So when she was talking about how he's never made her feel like a wife and he doesn't pursue her and all this other stuff, I was sitting there thinking, why would he? Like, you have expressed that, you know, you've pretty much friend zoned him from the honeymoon, right? And when they were in the jacuzzi and he was talking, like, I noticed that when he does have these moments where he's showing his personality, she twists up her face and it's like she pouts as if to say, he's taking all the spotlight, he's taking all the attention, right? That's what she's focused on, not actually trying to find a way for their relationship to work. So she was speaking for him when she was saying, yeah, you know, there's no attraction there. And it's not the first time. She even did that with the experts a few weeks back. There's no attraction there. We're basic, you know, I think it was the week where they were meant to do the intimacy task. And she was like, why are we going to do this task? Because there's nothing there. And Clint, I think he is prepared to, like, he sees that there may be some slim chance that something might work. But again, I think that's down to his personality being optimistic. Clint can pretty much fit in a lot of different types of relationships with a lot of different people because he has a sense of humor and he has more of a personality that's malleable. Whereas Gina seems to come across as quite rigid, quite self-absorbed, always focusing on work, which is again herself because she's self-employed. She does her trade as a hairdresser. And if it isn't about work, then there isn't much to her. And he's trying to use his humor and try and endear himself to her in other ways. And I think if Clint wasn't putting in as much effort as he has been doing, then they would be in a much worse place because she can't do it. She can't even do half of what he's doing. She can't even put forward her best self to even have a light-hearted, time trying to establish a relationship. Now, from Clint's perspective, from what he's expressed on the show, he hasn't taken it personally. He has not pouted and folded his arms and said, okay, you know what? Even though they're sleeping in separate rooms, for a lot of men, that would be a deal breaker. We're sleeping in separate rooms already. So we haven't even had a beef or argument and I'm in the doghouse. You're literally telling me to get used to the doghouse from the honeymoon. So, and like I said, this isn't the only case of this happening. It's happening in SHAQ and KIRSTEN, and we've just discussed with Aris and Jasmine. One partner is kind of the stumbling block to success. And it can't be forced because it's not going to be genuine. It's not going to be authentic if the person feels pressured or forced like they have to do it. Let me do it out of sympathy. Let me do it because they've tried so hard. You know what? Well, they have been good this week. Let me throw him a cookie or throw him a bone. That's a recipe for disaster. So I don't see Gina ever giving Clint the reciprocity in terms of effort in wanting to be in a relationship. And Clint, I think, I don't think he's desperate. I don't think he's going to be short of offers when he goes back out there in the dating market. But I definitely think he is prepared to give Gina a try. And he has been consistent in that. But she just hasn't, she doesn't have it in her. She really doesn't. I don't know, and I think many guys would struggle to be with Gina because she's not really, she doesn't really come across as a fun person to be around, be with. She doesn't generate it herself. So no on decision day, definitely. And Clint hasn't completely closed the door. And I like the fact that he hasn't closed the door. Usually I would be saying the opposite, but I like the fact that he hasn't closed the door because then he can still continue to present himself in a way that's kind of like happy-go-lucky, light-hearted, and fun.
Yeah, I think two things in this scenario. One, I think, listen, contempt in a relationship is never a good thing. And I think she has contempt for him for whatever reason. Either something that she sees in him that she sees in herself, so she's rejecting it, or she is still holding on a little bit to the comment in the beginning. Although I don't know if it's the comment. I don't know if that's still what's got her not liking him, because when they played the game and they were going around and asking questions and they said, has he ever hurt your feelings or has he ever hurt you? And she said no. So either she just doesn't want to get into it or it's a non-issue for her. But I would say it's not nice that she found a way to throw him under the bus behind the scenes when he was just having a good time at his birthday. And I don't think that she speaks highly of him in front of others about him. And I think like she feels that she's better than him. She feels that she deserves better than him. And whatever bare minimum little bit of effort she's giving, she thinks that it's more than enough. And she constantly deflects and puts it back on him in terms of what he's doing or what he should be doing. And elevates her efforts, which are bare minimum, because all she talks about is this job and this crying. Now, this beloved salon, and the people are leaving. And it ain't the first time that she had somebody up and quit that she thought was one of her low friends that's on her staff. So, hey, maybe you need to spend less time on the salon and more time on developing your personal life and getting to know how to really work with people a little bit better. Be a little bit more emotionally intelligent. Be a little bit more sensitive to the needs of other people, because that's going to get you a better outcome in your relationship. So, that's kind of what I think about those two. Controversial opinion. I don't think Clint wants anything to do with Gina. I think he's just nice enough to just go through the process, and he doesn't really have like that mean-spirited attitude, but he knows what's up. Because you saw when he was sitting there listening, I'm good for this sometimes. When he was sitting there listening to her salon story and about her employee, he was like, oh man, isn't that something else? That's something I would say. Yeah, isn't that something else? Tell me more. So what happened? And he said, you put so much effort into that salon. Low key, he's like, that's all you talk about. And look, she quit. But he knows he's on TV.
I totally agree with you, Sean. I said this man is playing, like saying when he said, "Oh, there is a scenario where this could work out." I said he is playing that for the camera. This man is saying no. This man likes sex, and he is getting not so much as a handshake. This for the last 6 weeks. He don't want this. He's playing us. And I said when he's giving her the advice, he's like, okay, I'll give you some good advice. This is advice time. So let me analyze it. I'll give you, okay, that's too bad. Well, you work hard. And so he was giving us advice time. I'll give you advice like a good friend will. And then that's it. I said, this man is playing for the camera. There's no scenario where this is going to work. This man is done. And I actually, you said that, and this is my last point, that she is not, it might not be about the what he said weeks ago about the size issue, I think that she's mad at him. I think that she is not even about that comment, because I remember she said, I work a lot and I'm trying to get somebody to take me out of that. But it constantly comes back to her work, constantly comes back to her being a business owner and everything. And she wanted somebody to take her out of that. And he's stopped trying. He said, I want somebody to, live life with and do all these adventures with. And he's like, if she wants to talk about work, let's do that then, because we don't have anything else to talk about. And that's it. I think that they've just stopped trying. They slid right into this friends territory, and that's where they're gonna stay. And that's it. And so I think that she wanted something different. But I do think that, like you said, she thinks she's better than him, and she's not, and she knows it. And that's it. And she needs to do some reflection and realize, just like Eris, that put a mirror up to yourself. It's not about there's something going on with you. That this is nothing not to do with Clint.
Yeah, and I think we have to take into account it was his birthday, right? And this, when someone's feeling you, they're gonna really try and make you feel special on your birthday. And she didn't do that. Now, Clint is obviously more open to talk about sex and express that side of his personality. Gina cringes because she's not attracted to him, even on a sexual level. There's no intimacy, there's no connection. And even before the comment that he retaliated with, or if you want to look at it like that, but even before the comment about him dating slimmer ladies, she already had it in her mind that she wasn't attracted to him. So it's nothing to do with the comment specifically, but the comment, she did not appreciate that coming back to her. It wasn't, she can't say, oh, because he said what he said, that's why I'm turned off. She was turned off before that, and she expressed it. So this is another thing that Trey said, and I've said it before. If you meet someone in a relationship capacity, you need to be careful about what you say about what you like and what you don't like, right? Especially the don't likes, because everybody has them. Everybody has pet peeves. Everybody has things that might turn them off. But the way you express it might come back to haunt you or stay as a feature of your relationship because of how you've expressed it. All right. Now, maybe she has an inflated sense of self, but even still, that means that she sees herself better than Clint, at least in the looks department. She doesn't even take the time to like do the kissing and cuddling thing. Like she's not even interested in that. Even if we remove the sex part, there's just no connection, no spark. And I haven't seen anything even up to this point from her leading to believe that it's worth Clint even trying as hard as he is. And let's be real, he doesn't need to try hard because he naturally has the personality that can engage in conversation. He can make lighthearted moments appear out of the stressful times. He seems like he can, he doesn't have hang-ups in the personality department. She does. So if he keeps on, trying to push a connection with her, because there's no attraction there, she will shut him down. She's not feeling him. So that's why when she made the comment, he doesn't make me feel like a wife. He never has. What were you expecting? The way you expressed your unattractiveness, like, why would anybody want to try and convince you otherwise? Why would they be trying to keep you as their wife? There is no joy. You're not bringing happiness into the relationship. She laughs along at some of his jokes sometimes. He's a very quirky guy. but he's going to need more than that. So she's definitely checked out. She has been from the get-go and has resigned herself to saying no on decision day, regardless of what Clint shows up with. She can't overcome the physical, and you know, unfortunately, that's just what it is. It doesn't matter what he does. Like, she might be looking for Tom Cruise, but Tom Cruise isn't going to be on Married at First Sight.
First off, I think Clint should win Hank in the divorce. I said it, just what it is. She should get Hank. Honestly, if you give Hank the choice, I think he'll go with Clint, which is crazy to think about. But second of all, to this whole, I'm gonna change this narrative slightly about Gina thinking she's better than Clint. You know, I'm gonna go a bit darker and deeper. She's acting like she's better than Clint because she knows she's not better than Clint. She has had time to view this man and how he acts around people and how he is personal around people, how he has had a story to tell. Clint has experienced life. And we learned this in the beginning when we first got to know Clint, of what he's all done in his life that has gotten to him to this position. He has experienced life. She has not. Let's just keep it real. She's not on his level. And she has started to begin to see it. But she's a prideful woman. So she has to put forth this narrative, this image that is him, not me. You know what I'm saying? It's all his fault. It's not me. I'm the prize, not him. You know, I'm the one you should look at, not him. Because I find it funny, if you look at it, she really, when they're together in certain situations, she disappears out of the scene. Clint stands in the forefront. Mainly because Clint is, you know, he's the life of the party. He's the main one bringing the whole crew together, keeping it fun, keeping it light. I was going to ask this question earlier, and it's a real easy question. I think it's pretty obvious. But I was going to ask, do you think Clint and Kirsten are being smothered by their partners? Because I've noticed, even I'm going to give Kirsten some grace with this, even though I have problems with her. I have noticed when she's just around Clint or the others or out by herself, and she's starting, and I heard Sean and Kojo speak on this earlier. She's been starting to show her true self. She's been opening up lately. And she's a fun-go-lucky girl. She's turning into the life of the party along with Clint. She's turning up with him. No. She's showing more of herself. I'm like, okay, this is a nice girl. I wouldn't mind getting to know her a little bit better, even though she got her own issues. But she seems like she's unable to show herself, her true self, with SHAQ, with you know what's going on between them. And Clinton's acting the same way. He can't be himself around Gina. She's so depressing. She's so. If you notice, whenever they get around each other or they get in a group meeting or whatever, Clint always stands out, and he doesn't have to do much. He doesn't really have to do anything at all, really. He can easily get the conversation going. He can easily say something to get the whole group laughing. He can easily say something to get the whole group thinking with some of his answers, some of his advices, and how he deals with things. You like, I get, you know what, Clint, you're right. Yeah, I get you, bro. Like, yeah, I like that. Gina can't do that. She can't move like that. She knows she can't. So I think some of the people in the chat hit on this, and we've been beating around the bush on this, but let's just say it like it is. Gina might be jealous of Clint. She just might be harboring some type of jealousy towards him. Because if you see how Gina acts sometimes, she wants to be the center of attention, but she doesn't have the attributes to hold that center of attention from people. She just doesn't. She's forgettable, unfortunately. And she's one note. All she could talk about is her job. She's literally one note. If it's not about her salon, she don't know what to talk about. And that's the biggest difference between the two. The reason why Clint is somewhat better than her, because like I said before, he has lived a life. So he actually has experiences to fall back on and talk about and talk from a position from. You know what I'm saying? Even his little advice that he was given to Gina, to be honest, it was very basic. But the strongest position that he came from was, first off, he listened to her. He asked, even though he's like, you can see, I think you can kind of see the frustration on his face. He was like, man, we talking about your work again? Again? All right. But he listened. He actually listened to her issue, her problems. And he gave somewhat encouraging advice, spoke from where she was coming from. Yeah, I can see that, you invested a lot in that girl, in her training, this, for her to go and do this. That's, she wanted to say it, but Clint said it for her. That's a little messed up. I can see you being a little upset about that. That's a little messed up. You were right to feel you were right to feel the way you feel about her. Because at the end of the day, this is still a business. You have to conduct it like a business, and you can't stop to do that. You have to learn. He told her you have to keep a separation. You could be friends with him, but you have to keep a separation between your friendship and you being the boss and this being the business. But and really he was telling her that because, but it's not the first time this girl has done this. And you hire her back again? Why? Why? She specifically said this is not the first time this girl has quit on her and tried to go off and do her own. And I'm thinking multiple times, not just once, the way she's talking about it. I'm like, and you hired her back. Why? You kind of telling me a little something about yourself now. You seem like a little pushover in your own salon. What's going on here? And when she explained the situation of what happened, I'm like, yeah, I can totally understand why you told her what you told her. No, you can't do that. That's competitive. This is business. We gotta, do what we gotta do. We gotta come here and show up. Yeah, you should have been got rid of her. Like, what are you
Trey,
doing?
that told me that Clint has been listening to her work stories for this whole time. Like, what does Sean call, what's her name, stories? Like band camp stories. It's just been work story, work. If he knows the whole history about what's been going on with this one employee, that's a lot. That's a lot. So that means that you don't even talk about anything else with this man.
One time at band camp?
Right. It's just she doing, yeah, that's it.
Kirsten, I called you Kirsten. Oh Lord, my bias is coming through. Crystal, Crystal, you just nailed a good song. I asked the song and for everybody to name a song in the chat, and that's a good one. Work for Rihanna. That is a good one.
Yep.
There's a couple of other good songs that people wrote, that people gave. So Akin the Life said, "Just a Friend" by Mario. Miss View said Tyrese pulling me back. I don't know that song. I don't know. Maybe if I hear it, I don't know how that goes. Anybody know how that song?
Look, every time I ever leave, you keep pulling me back, be back to the time with Chingy pulling me back.
Okay.
It's Chingy. That's a classic.
Oh, okay.
With Keisha Knight pulling them in the video, she was the video girl for that one.
I remember that one. Now I remember
I
that.
don't remember. I need to go back and watch it.
Yeah, you gotta watch. That's a classic video. You gotta watch that. She was real cute.
Okay.
Every time I ever leave, you keep pulling me back, be back. And all that, yeah.
Then Lauren M says another sad love song. Another Toni Braxton classic. I had a song in my head too, and I forgot what it was. So
just another sad love song racking my brain like crazy. That one?
Yeah, that's what Lauren said. And I'm all torn up.
I think Gina's
is there even love between these two, though? I don't know.
No, I don't even think that's. Yeah.
Actually, no love.
No, I remember like my mom used to play Vanessa Williams. You know, she had some albums back in the day. She had a work song like "I Got a Job, Baby, I Gotta Work."
I got work to do. Yes, that's a good one. Is that Pebbles or Vanessa Williams?
I think that's Vanessa Williams.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure that's Vanessa Williams. I got a job, baby. I gotta work to do.
Listen, Gina don't know none of them songs here. Gina's more like working 9 to 5, Dolly Parton. All right. That's more her speed.
Oh, that's a good one. I got 9 to 5. She ain't even pulling. She's pulling more than 9 to 5. She's doing
working 9 to 9.
Oh, my bad, y'all. Keisha Knight pulling him was in One Call Away with Chingy. Pulling Me Back was with Chingy, and the video girl was that girl from America's Top Model or the Tyra Banks model show. She was a model girl. But yeah, that's a total video, but same song. My bad. I just had to correct that.
Audience is telling us. Somebody said Wrecking Ball. Claudia K said Wrecking Ball.
Yeah, that might be good.
Who's that? Is that Miley Cyrus? Who's it?
Yeah, Miley Cyrus. That's Miley Cyrus.
From their neck of the woods. She's from like Tennessee, Memphis area, isn't she? So. But I don't think Gina's even got the personality to come in like a wrecking ball. I think Gina is, you know, there is nothing that energizes her more than talking about herself. That's the only time she seems to want to be engaged in the conversation or you know, be relatively happy about what's being spoken about. If anything Clint's got to say, it's like a dry laugh or a pout, or you know, because I really think she is envious of the attention he gets. You know, like we've said, he is the life and soul of the party, and I think that really grinds her gears because in her salon, it's probably all eyes on her because she's the boss. She's the one that creates the narrative and tells everybody what to do. So she's the center of attention. But in the marriage, I think she definitely has a problem with how his personality is so gregarious. He's so, you know, he can get around the group and lighten the mood. We saw last week when he had the pageant thing. He doesn't take himself too seriously, right? And the week before, like we saw him shucking and jiving and doing all types of crazy invented moves that he was doing, right? Freestyling. And Gina just doesn't match with that type of guy. It feels like she's very, seems like she's very much focused on the looks thing. If he looked a certain way, more to her taste, then I think she would happily go along with whatever just because of how good he looks. I think she's that shallow that it's purely a superficial connection that would get, like, you know, a physical connection that would get her to open up. She doesn't require depth. She doesn't require late night conversations like what Kirsten's talking about, staying up till 3 a.m. and things like that, talking. Like Gina doesn't require that. It seems to me all she wants is someone that she can physically say, oh, Like, he's my man. Like, he's handsome. That's it. The guy could be a dirtbag. He could be unfunny. He could be, aggressive. I don't think she would care about that, because her main reason that she gives for wanting this relationship is because she's actually so focused on work all the time. So it's like an escape. And, she's probably been single so long that work is all she knows and all she gets joy from. So until she unlearns that and learns to appreciate the person that she's with and, accept them for who they are and try and work on the strengths and overlook the lesser points, the weaker points, until she masters that, or at least has the self-reflection to see that, she's going to be single for a long time. Because the judgment that she passed, she's very judgmental, very critical. And those are not good traits to have in a relationship, especially in a process where, you're probably not going to meet your ideal 100% perfect partner. So that's why I said expressing how you feel about someone is very important, because it can stick with them. And fortunately, Clint's not that type of person. Clint is very self-depreciating anyway. He doesn't walk around like he's the best thing since sliced bread, but he has a sense of humor that allows you to see him in a light where, he's a very humorous guy. Doesn't take anything too serious. What he did, the times where he has flipped were times where I think most people would have put their foot down and said, look, come on, you're beating me over the head with this point all the time. And I've said that it wasn't malicious in what I said. I was just coming back and saying, you're not my ideal either, but I'm prepared to make it work with you. I'm prepared to make it see where we can go with it. And I think a large part of this has also to do with the fact that the other couples are in a similar situation. Other than Chris and Nicole, there still is that whole physical attraction, physical interaction, intimacy, chemistry. That's still the underlying theme for the rest of the relationships. So Gina's obviously been around that too and known that she's not the only one in the situation. So therefore, she has no impetus to try and change that with Clint.
Jason Reaver, Crystal.
1 second. I remember my song because I don't want to forget it. And we're going to vote. And at the end of this, we about to wrap up Gina and Clint and head on over to Kristen and Nicole. But before we do that, we're going to vote on the songs. So the song that I had in my head was Boys to Men, Let's Not Wait Till the Water Runs Dry. It's going to be the biggest mistake of our lives. Don't do it, baby. So I had to get that out there because I was like, I'm going to forget this song again. So, yes, final comments, 30 seconds. Anybody on the panel, Gina and Clint. And then we're going to vote on what's the best song to describe their relationship.
After this is all said and done, Clint is about to be I'm Doing Just Fine by Boys to Men. Mic drop.
That was one of the quickest summations yet, Trey.
That actually was really good, Trey. I feel like Let's Not Wait Till the Water Runs Dry might be Eris and Jasmine. But okay, so I have no final comments. I just want her to stop talking about work and chewing her face. That's my final comment.
I'm gonna choose a song for them. I'm gonna say, if you think you're lonely now, wait until tonight, girl. Cisco.
Wait,
if you think you're lonely now, wait until
that's Joe. That's Joe from Joe. Well, that's the remake. He did the remake, but that was very good. I'm still on the Vanessa Williams work, or I've got work to do, but I love that
Y'all adding too many songs now. I'm about to lose count. So
okay, anybody
this
in the
wasn't
chat?
add a song. This was give you a 30-second summation.
It was
Don't give
KC
me
for
more work to do. You give me more work to do.
JoJo remade it.
No, Crystal, we got your one song. That's it. We're not adding no more songs. I done ran out of room on my little sticky note.
Okay.
So, all right, everybody did their summaries. These are the songs, and we're gonna vote. So put a 1 in the chat if it's "Let's Not Wait Till the Water Runs Dry" by by Boys to Men. If you think you're lonely now, put a 2 in the chat. The Vanessa Williams song, I got a job to do, put a 3 in the chat. Another sad love song, put a 4 in the chat. Chingy Pulling Me Back, put a 5 in the chat. Mario Just a Friend, put a 6 in the chat. And that's all I got. I only got 6 songs. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
7. I'm doing just fine, boys and men.
Oh Lord, Trey. So 7 for we like the number 7 for completion. So 7 for Trey's selection. Let's see what we got. We got a 1. We got 2. We got 2 twos in the lead so far. We got 3 2s. We got a 4. Oh, we got a bunch of 2s. 2 looks like it's winning right now. We got a 1 and a 4. You got to pick one, Rose. Just one. You just get one rib. Can I just get one rib? You just get one song. That's a $5 super chat if you can tell me what movie that comes from, and nobody on the super panel is allowed to answer. So if you put that in the chat, you get a $5 the answer to that. If I could just get one rib, how much is one rib? Tell me what movie it's from and what actor. The actor is the bonus question. You do the movie and the actor, that gets you 10. You get the movie, that's 5. New Jack City. Cynthia Gross. What? Not Nino Brown. No. That's not it. And if you get the movie and the wrong movie and the right actor, it's it's a no-go. I'm sorry for you. Harlem Nights, not Shoot Me in My Pinky Toe. Y'all are wiggity whack. Harlem Nights, I love it.
Y'all are just hurting my feelings at this point. just
Harlem Nights, I love it.
Nights.
Oh wait, let me try to get.
Game over. Game over.
I'm having too much fun with the sound effects, guys. So let's see who got. Let me first look at the songs, because I gave y'all a lot of work to do. I'm treating y'all like Gina's employees. I'm giving y'all lots of work to do. So by my glance, it's number 2. And that's If You Think You Lonely Now. So if you think you're lonely now, Gina, wait until Clint is gone at night. It's gonna be you and your dog. Because somebody set her straight. They said the dog is premarital property, so which is very, very true. So unless Gina really does love Clint and she gives the dog over, it's not gonna be able to do it. So let's see who had that right answer first. So most of y'all got the actor correctly.
Right. It looked like Janice got 2 first. Am I right?
No, it was the Lady and the Sun. Because y'all have me making me forget. Yeah, it was the Lady and the Sun. It was Chris Rock, of course. That's the actor. But I'm gonna get you, sucker. Y'all had me doubting the movie for a second. I'm like, what movie? Because y'all were all over the place. All right, Lady in the Sun, send us your in the chat. Put your Cash App, and we will send you your Cash App. Yes, I am having too much fun. They said they quitting at the end of the shift. Druzy, I didn't see you say it, baby girl. Let me go look up in the chat. Let me look just to be sure, but I didn't see you first.
I thought Janice said 2 first, but I think the lady in the side, I thought you were right about the
I'm looking in stream. Remember, in StreamYard, as always, guys, this becomes the heavy debate. StreamYard shows real time. YouTube does not, because YouTube comments go through a filter. You know, the comments go through a filter before they hit YouTube. So StreamYard is where it shows everything in real time. Even if somebody's blocked, we see it in StreamYard. So let me go back, but I just want to make sure. Yes, Druzy G, you're correct. You said the movie, but the Lady in the Sun got the movie and the actor. So she got the movie and the actor. So you did say the movie. That is true. So technically, true to form, you should get. You was the first. I see you up here. So yes, send us your Cash App, Druzy. You get the 5. The Lady in the Sun gets the 10. All right, now let's mosey on along to Chris and Nicole and their miniature golf band camp situation. So who wants to kick it off and talk about Chris and Nicole and your thoughts about their, let's start with the mini golf situation. Oh, thank you, Druzy. We'll put it to the pot.
Well, I'll start this one. Man, the mini golf situation, I was like, what is up with Nicole? Like, she was, you know, she was acting up at the mini golf, and it's meant to be a very calm, serene game, right? But yeah, she was doing way too much, man. I've always consistently said that I have hope for these two, but I think she's gonna put Chris through it. Like, his demeanor is already his energy is quite low. But I think she's gonna not grind on him. Sorry, wrong term. I think she's gonna grate on him eventually, and he does seem to, express when he's being affected by it. But my goodness, and the dinosaur outfit. Oh man, I was like, you already tried that with a few weeks ago when you wanted him to wear a shirt. Like, why are you so controlling that he has to wear what you want him to wear? That is mad. So, you know, I'm concerned now. Nicole is going to self-sabotage if she's not careful. All right. She is not settled. She's not settled at all. And, you know, I think sometimes just go with the flow instead of having to always vocalize everything. They've already, you know, significantly advanced more than the other couples have. And they're still together in a good enough space. But man, I was like, Nicole, what are you doing? Don't you want to keep the guy? Like, it's too controlling, and it's too, there's just too much that she's got weighing on her mind, man. She strikes me as quite a fragile person, and I'm not sure Chris is built to deal with that. He definitely doesn't give me the strong backbone, and he doesn't give me the therapist type of boyfriend. Like, he gives me the type of energy, like, if she keeps on applying too much of this type of pressure, he's going to sink further and further into himself, and it's going to potentially cause a rift that can't be rectified. And he'll be seeking solace in them damn dogs again. I mean, not them damn dogs. He'll be seeking solace in them dogs again. And, you know, that's going to be a recipe for disaster if he does that. Because someone like Nicole, she could easily, if she wasn't that way, then she might be able to bring Chris out, bring some joy, bring some fun, because she does have those aspects of her personality too. But I think she's now walking a fine line between, you know, doing too much and, you know, pushing him away.
I agree. I got a little bit of smoke for Chris, but this golf game was just, she was doing a lot. I said, girl, is it a chemical imbalance? Like, what is wrong with you? Just relax. And she was just getting really stressed out because she wasn't getting it right. It's not to get it right. Just knock the ball between. It's miniature golf. No one cares if you don't score. Just relax, or you don't get it right. Just relax. And so I just think she stresses herself out, and there are people that don't feel comfortable if they're not stressed out, or they're not like heightened in some way, you know, if they don't have some type of anxiety. And I think that she toes that line. But but I have to talk about Mr. Chris. You have to make a decision, and when they're in that bedroom before the dinosaur outfit, and he's sitting there saying, "Well, I thought that's what we did talk about. I thought that's what we did talk about." No, you weren't decisive. You did not say this is what we're going to do. And if she is constantly in a state of I'm not sure, I don't know, because he's not made a decisive plan, or he hasn't said we're going to do these certain things, especially when it's something important, you have to be very decisive in your speak when there's something important. We already know it's a week away, 7 days, and you have not made the decision. And he's saying, well, I thought that's what we were going to say. I thought that's what no, that's not what you decided. That's not what you talked about. And she also realized, I've just been kind of towing the line. That's not the type of person I am. And I kind of let him get away with it. So now she's going back on her word. So she's tried to play nice, but she's not. When it's something important, you need to make a decision. That's one. But now I'm going back to that's my whole issue with Chris. That's it. Be decisive. And she even said the word wishy-washy. That's another word I would use. Stop being so wishy-washy. This girl in these costumes and thinking stuff is fun. I actually did not mind the shirt thing. You put your foot down and said, I don't want to wear the shirt when they were doing the housewarming. That's when you could have worn the shirt. And he was like, I don't understand why we're doing this dinosaur costume. There was no reason for it. It's not Halloween. We already had our costume night the first night. There's no reason. You just want to be stupid for stupid's sake. And he's like, okay, I'll appease her. But why? Why keep trying to appease her when you know you're not happy? You just keep on being unhappy and letting her get away with stuff. So this communication has got to get better. It's got to get better. I truly think that they will say yes on decision day and they will work, but they've got to do better in this communication. Yeah, I don't know. She just be doing stuff just to be doing stuff. There's no rhyme or reason for it. Y'all got 3 dogs and you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know what's the decision. So this is a mess, and it doesn't have to be. That's my issue with it. Like the other ones, we see why they're a mess, but y'all are just making issues when there doesn't have to be an issue. So yeah, that's all I have for now.
You just made me think of something, and I'm gonna take a feather from Trey's cap because I have a little story time. I remember I had this relationship, and I was in my probably mid to late 20s at the time, and she was probably like a few years older than me, and like it was when I tell you, it was like a great relationship. Like we were on the same page. We had a similar background. I met her at a family function, so on paper and just in, our connection, we had, all the makings, and was she my first true love? I think, yeah, probably like she was like my first, like really, really full-fledged adult relationship. I would say my first adult relationship. But she just wanted me to be at the pace that she was. Now, I loved her. I could see a future, but because I was in that in-between phase, my career was just starting to grow. I couldn't quite give her everything she wanted at the same time. So part of me held back a little bit. And I just remember it eventually being the undoing of our relationship, whereas on the surface, we had all the makings of a very good relationship. But because she constantly had a need, now I'm not saying I was perfect and she wasn't or whatever, but I just think about like some of this stuff and how it can just undo a very good relationship. Because I just think about Chris and Nicole, they have a very good relationship, but she just wants to be so far ahead and she wants everything defined and she needs all these assurances that sometimes you just need to celebrate where you are if you're making great progress and just get your markers before you start ruining things. So it just reminded me of that. And I think sometimes we can really get in our own way when we have a good thing and we can start to do little things that undo the relationship. And that just reminded me, especially of that mini golf. That's supposed to be strictly fun. You're not in your head. It's nothing technical. It's just a good time. They were having fun. He was giving her kudos, but that still wasn't enough. And that for me is a dangerous thing. If you don't get that under control, you're gonna ruin the relationship. You're gonna just tank it. So my little 2 cents.
If self-sabotaging was a photo in the Webster Dictionary, Nicole would be the poster child for it. Now, before I forget about this, I want to get to what Crystal was saying earlier because I'm on the fence. At first, I was stomping on your side, Crystal. With Chris needs to be more forward thinking and saying what he means. No, you need to make a decision, right? I was with you because that's what I thought it was in the beginning, but now I'm a little on the fence, and the reason why is this: when they actually explained the situation of what they was dealing with, I understood more where Chris was coming from. And I was starting to look at Nicole like, why are you making this a bigger issue than it has to be? The main reason I went there, when they explained the situation, their main issue is they both said, even Chris said this, they want to live together after they know it's going to be a yes on decision day. That's what it is. They want to live together. Their main issue is they have 3 dogs in combination with one another. Most places that they're going to try and get, either renting a house or even renting an apartment, 3 dogs, too many. The most is going to be 2. That's the main issue. Chris is 2 things. Well, one thing. Number one, Chris has a more, it's probably going to be bad when I say it, but it's just to say it, he has a more nonchalant way of handling things. That's how it's going to come off. And I kind of recognize that because in certain aspects, I might exhibit that type of behavior in certain aspects. His problem is the way he sees things. There's either 1 or 2 ways this is going to go. If we cannot find a place within the certain allotted amount of time we have left in this process, we're going to have to live separately until we find a place where we can live together. Either we get a house together or we find a place that's going to accept 2 dogs or 3 dogs that they have. That's where his mindset is coming from. That's why he has this attitude, hey, don't worry about it. We're going to be okay. You know what I'm saying? If we got to live separately for a minute, I get it. I understand that. But to Nicole's point, what she needed was him to say, hey, it's either going to be this or it's going to be that. That's basically what she needed. The problem was, and it's going to be a problem with a lot of relationships, she needed it in a way that she wanted to feel secure. What I mean by that, she's looking for that type of security from her husband, from him. But she's looking for it in her mindset. She wants to experience it the way that she feels okay with it. Chris thinks he's providing that. He's like, listen, it's going to be okay. You know, because in his logical thinking mind, he's like, there's only 1 or 2 ways this is going to go. Like I just said, it's only 1 or 2 ways it's going to go. And I understood that. Because there's only 1 or 2 ways this is going to go. But she needed reassurance. And the type of reassurance that he was providing wasn't enough for Nicole. You have a pushback. Let me hear it.
I will agree with you guys that she does need constant reassurance. But on this point, months ago, when they first started getting along, when they came back from the honeymoon, he said 9 months. And so somewhere between these last 6 weeks, she has told him, I'm not okay with the 9 months. You've already told me you love me. I've told you I love you. I'm not okay with the 9 months. Let's rethink this. So because they've had this conversation about rethinking this, and he's like, oh, well, it's okay. Don't worry about it. It'll work itself out. She doesn't want to hear it when it's something important. Now, yes, the golf game, all this other BS, and she wanting to do a temperature check every night. Well, what if it was decision day? She's doing too much. I will agree with you on all those other things. But when it comes to to something like, are we going to move in together? You need to say, let's wait another month after decision day. Let's live separately. This is what I think, Chris. If I would have appreciated, just like Nicole, just say, let's live separately for another month after decision day, and let's concentrate on looking for a place for another. Give it an actual time. Say something specific. Another month. I know we said 9 months. I know we said we were going to change that, but be specific. Don't. I get it. Everything else, yes. She needs constant reassurance. She needs somebody to coddle her. I'm on board with that. But when it comes to them living together and their living situation, she wanted him to be very specific and definitive in his answer. And I don't disagree with her on that point. I think that yeah. And everything else, like Sean said, you can't you can't just be so strict in everything. I agree with you, but he's like, oh, it'll work itself out. It'll work itself out. It won't always work itself out when we've said we're not going to do this. If we've said no and we're not going to do 9 months, say to me, don't just say it's going to work itself out. That's not an answer. That's it. And especially with 3 dogs. You know that you don't want 3 big dogs, them big ass dogs in an apartment. You know that that's not going to be okay. So let's say take the dog. You know that you don't want the dog back with your dad. Say something specific. And that's all. I just think that something like living together, he needed to say, okay, we'll give it another month. And after decision day, let's concentrate on this experiment. After decision day, we're going to have to live separately for like a month or 2. He needed to say something specific. That's what I think. It's when it's something important like that. That's it. He could have, but I think everything else, she is doing too much. I would agree with you on that. But on this, he sounds wishy-washy.
And I agree with you. I like I said in the beginning, I was on that fence. I was like, bro, you need to be a little more forward. You need to be a little more, this is how it needs to be, because she needs that reassurance. I was on that page. I actually still am on that page to a certain extent. My only issue, the only reason why I kind of stopped and got on the fence about it, to your point, what you said earlier, in the beginning, yeah, he was definitely wishy-washy about, hey, let's wait 9 months, this and that, and third, yada, yada. To me, looking back on it now, to where we are now this might be a reach by me. But back then, he didn't know who that woman was.
Right.
He still needed to figure her out. So I understand him, hey, whoa, let's just look at it 9 months from now. Because this is the beginning. We just got put together. I got to figure you out first. All right, that's that. Like I said, might be a reach, but that's that. Fast forward to now. The reason why this issue is an issue now, and to your point when you said maybe after decision day, he just said, hey, let's give it a month, look for plays, this and that, third. If I'm correct on my thinking on this, the reason why she's up in arms about it and why that doesn't work now is because, if I'm correct, and I think they said this weeks ago in the beginning, both of their leases will be up when decision day, at the same time, when decision day is held. It's like right afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
So to Nicole's point, we need to figure out what we're going to do. Right. I'm on that. We got to figure out what you're going to do. To Chris's point, and this is where his nonchalantness is a detriment to him. It's a detriment. This is why, even though I may exhibit this, but this is where this is a detriment. In his mind, there's only 1 or 2 answers we can do. He even said in this episode, we have been looking. We've been actively looking at places to try and get into, but they haven't been able to find any, mainly because of their situation. They have 3 pets combined. And until they're in the position to buy a house, which I don't think they're in that position at this point to do, and that's understandable, they're going to have to rent a place. Most places they're going to rent, it's not going to happen. $3, no, unless you can find a private owner for a house that's okay with that. But in most cases, this is no.
So, and I'm asking you and Sean, because you're both saying that. So you think that Chris is not, what's his name? Chris is telling her just relax and it'll be okay. Like, is it?
In a certain sense, he's trying to tell her that, but it's the wrong thing to tell her. That's why I say I'm on the fence. Like, he's trying to tell her that, and in my summation of the situation, I can understand why he's telling her that, because that's your only options. Y'all gonna have to live apart for a while. That's what it's looking like. When they finally explained the situation on the show, I was like, yeah, they're gonna have to live apart at least for a year. It's a what, Trey? Well, I don't get what you're saying back. I forgot to explain that, but we'll come back to that.
You must have said a Judaism. You must have said some word up in there that Bab.
Yeah, I might have did. I don't know, but that's why I said when they actually explained the situation, and then I put it into context of what they said in the beginning about their leases being up, I went, oh, okay, I get it now. Yeah, to a certain extent, Chris is correct. There's only one or two ways this is going to go. Either they find a place before decision day to move into together, or they're going to have to live separately for at least a year until they find a permanent spot or a permanent solution. Nicole's issue is the way I just presented that was a lot more straightforward, and that's exactly how Chris should have presented it, but he did it. He's a little nonchalant about this. He's thinking like, well, this is plain. It's exactly what he's thinking. Like, this is probably a little messed up for him to think this way. This is plain and simple. You know, you shouldn't be getting upset about this. We only got two options here. Either we find a place we move into, we good, or we're going to have to live separately at least for a year, sign another lease, fall that lease out for another year until we find a place that's going to suit the both of us and we agree on. Plain and simple. That's how he's looking at it, plain and simple. The problem is Nicole is looking for security, not just in the physical sense, but just for him telling her, this is how it's going to go. We're going to be okay. He's just a little too nonchalant about it, and it's throwing her off. Now, that's why I say I'm on the fence about this whole situation. I can see where Chris is coming from, even though I can agree that he needs to be a little more forceful or a little more speak up about what's going to happen. Also, on the flip side, Nicole is doing too much. She is sabotaging her own marriage. And the sad thing is, she knows that she's doing it because she has admitted that she has done that or will do that in the past, into the future. She's going to do it. It's just a weird thing. Like, if you know you're going to do something, why are you going to, you just going to walk right off that cliff? Why? You know, but this is part of her personality that Chris is going to have to deal with. And to JR's point, I don't know if he's ever going to deal with this long term, because it's going to be a constant thing. If you heard him, this is a trickle to what Eris was trying to tell Jasmine. I wish you would stand up for yourself. I wish you would believe, in his case, I wish you would believe in yourself more instead of you throwing out all of these insecurities, because it's not needed. Whether you believe him or not, what Chris has said, I am with you for the long haul. That's at least what he said. Now, if he follow through with it, who knows?
Right. I'm with you for the long haul, but if we stay separated for more than 6 months, there's no guarantee that this is going to last. And we don't know that this is true.
There's no guarantee if it's going to last if they move in immediately together.
True.
That's the realness of this whole situation. Mm-hmm. Of any marriage in relationship, it is a risk.
True.
And it has to be a risk that you're willing to take. Willing to take.
But to Nicole, he doesn't look like he's willing to take that risk. He's not.
And that's an argument. That is an argument. Is he willing or is he not? He says he is, but now we're getting into the semantics of what does a person's effort look like to you? Because I can look like I'm giving a lot of effort, and I may be giving effort, but to you, it may not look the same. That's why we got to have conversations with, hey, I always ask, and this may seem weird to ask the question, but I asked a lady that I'm talking to, What does effort look like to you? What does certain things, how do you perceive certain situations? Because I got to see if I can even provide that. Or if there's going to be issue with that, I got to explain to you how I put forth effort. This is what I show in my effort. Is this acceptable to you? If it's not, then we had an impasse. If it's something that we can work on, then let's work on it. Now, Chris, yeah, he's a little wish-washy to a certain extent. And I get that. And that's going to make a lot of women nervous. A lot of women nervous, period. Tell it, Jay. I'll tell it.
Right. And the thing is, just as that would make any woman nervous, her anxious attachment style would make a man nervous too. Because, you know, the way she's so erratic with her chain of thought, it's eventually, I mean, I don't even think Chris is that, you know, in tune with relationships and things like that. But she's so, I won't say scatterbrained, but it's similar to that. It's like the moment something gets to her or gets on her case, like she has to say something about it, and she goes into, okay, so what am I going to do? And Chris is the opposite, and they do say opposites attract, but you look at his effect through the whole season, he's been quite the same the whole time. He, again, like, I go back to this word, this 3-letter word, joy, right? He doesn't show me that he's really infused. He seems okay, but it's that anxious attachment style that I think she has, or that anxiety that she has, that's going to concern someone like Chris, because it's not stable. It's quite, it fluctuates, you know. With her temperament, it can go from 0 to 60 in less than 3 seconds, and he might be bewildered and feel like it's too much of a challenge when that continues to happen. So, and that's where I think his reluctance to confirm the moving arrangements, because I think he's kind of sussed it out. He's like, wait a minute, as much as we get on and as much as we like each other, there's this erraticness that causes an uncertainty and makes me feel like I'm going to be subjected to this every single day if we move in.
I was going to say real quick, Nicole constantly fluctuates or switches between her masculine energy and her feminine energy. And Chris's masculine energy is not enough to secure her in her feminine. So she feels like she has to step up and take charge of the situation. And that's not what she wants to do. She wants him to step up. That's why there's a miscommunication with his nonchalantness and whatnot. He's not giving her enough reassurance. I think the argument or discussion we're having is, even if he gives reassurance, is that going to be enough for Nicole? Is that really the type of reassurance she needs? Or is she going to come up with something else that she needs to be reassured about? Because to your point, JR, she seems very scatterbrained. Like, it doesn't matter if he steps up and say, hey, you know, this is how it's going to be. This is what it is. Okay, cool. In her mind, she's one of the types, she's going to come up with something else to be not okay about. We've already seen small examples of this throughout this season. They could be literally going just fine, and she's playing with something in her head, her little self talking to herself. Ooh, I don't know if he might feel about that. I don't know how he's going to act when he sees the real me. I'm like, okay, yeah, she's a self-sabotager.
And you know, and the times where he's given her pushback, like pertaining to the outfits, you know, the dinosaur outfit, the t-shirt, I'll go back to that again. Like, if someone says, no, you know, I don't want to wear it, that should be cool with you, because you want to exert too much control over that person where they've said no, and you still want them to to give in, even though they've said no. It's going to make me look silly, or what is the point to doing it? Can you explain why? Just because I want you to, just because you're in a relationship now, you're going to have to do these things. That's wrong.
JR, in that moment, Chris turned into a backbender. In that moment, yeah, you heard what I said, Sean. Chris turned into the backbender because Nicole was bending his back over. This goes back to what I'm saying. Her masculine fights with her feminine a lot. And in times, and you heard her say, sometimes her masculine wins. And Chris's masculine is not enough to overpower hers.
The what, Trey?
The backbender.
Okay,
Chris turned into the backbender.
Explain that, please.
Listen, we explained it last week. He's a backbender. I hate to say it like this. This is keeping real. With respect, that
he's
gentleman.
He's a
yes. I was going to get to that.
You're going to have to let Trey explain this.
Okay, I'll explain it. Let's keep it real. We're going to keep it real. Most women like to have their back bent over a little bit. Yes, play the music. They like to have their back bent a little bit. Not controlling. But they want their man to take the lead. Oh, yeah, we're getting into it. Let's go. They want their man to take the lead in certain aspects. You know what I'm saying? Not tell them what to do, not control them, but actually be a man. Listen to them, listen to their opinion. Oh, yeah, we get into it. Get on this train. Get on this train tonight. We're getting on this train tonight. It's happening.
You know what I just thought about? I think that this was her getting back at him a little bit. Oh, so you're not going to answer my question about the apartment the way I want? Like, you're not going to answer me? You're not going to answer me? Okay.
Wear this outfit.
Put this outfit back.
Wear this back. Like, I've been asking you about this outfit or about this apartment. You won't give me a definitive answer. Okay, well, I want you to wear this outfit. So, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Listen, at that point in time, especially when it came to the little costume situation, you could tell on Chris's face, nah, this is not the move. He should have stood on that thought and that emotion, because it was stupid as hell. It was stupid.
Well,
you know what? He stood on that, but he appeased her in that moment, like Crystal said. He appeased her.
He accepted the punishment.
He didn't want no smoke with her. That's the reason. Exactly. He didn't want no smoke with her.
Exactly. He accepted the punishment. Like, that's exactly what it was at that point. And because she's been asking this question for a couple of weeks now about the moving situation, and the fact that he still hasn't given her the answer that she wants, then go and put this outfit on. You're gonna look stupid today. You're gonna clown me. Okay, you're gonna be the clown today. A grown-ass man wearing a damn dinosaur outfit. It's crazy. All right. So I can only see that as her punishing him in a way. And I mean, we can look at it in a light-hearted way. Okay, he's wearing a dinosaur outfit, but there's an undertone to it that I think, it's going to set a precedent for this type of behavior. If he steps out, or if he doesn't do what she wants or present himself in the way that she wants, then boom, this could potentially be your punishment, bro.
The reason why I say this is because there was no reason behind it. Like when they did the happy hour or the housewarming, and we're supposed to present ourselves as a happy couple, our first time having our friends over. But this time, it was just no reason. But he was like, why? There's not Halloween. Why do it? So I just feel like this one was some spitefulness behind this, Nicole. Like,
I think she likes to be told no. I think she wants to see him step up, and she's already told him to do it.
Right.
and he kind of did it but didn't do it. She had to push him to say no for the stupid shirt, and now this time he just needed to shut her down, but then he did it afterwards, like just no more dinosaur shirts. He needs to find his voice in this relationship. Now, for any of you like that know, like during the pandemic, people started doing what's called quiet quitting. So they do the bare minimum, but either they're planning an exit strategy or they're really not engaged, but they're doing just enough to get by. I think Chris is doing a quiet quitting until decision day. I think that's what he's doing. He's going to do a quiet quit on her, and then decision day, he's going to be like, yeah, I'm not going to be able to do it. Get somebody else to do it because I'm not going to do it. Because I think the mini golf, he said it under his breath. He was like, yeah, this is getting to be a lot. And what was Nicole's, her little message? Welcome to being married at first sight. You're married now. No,
exactly.
No. This is welcome to Crazy Town, because what you're doing on this mini golf course is an example of how you will just run up and down this whole marriage. So no. Get your behavior in check. I think Chris, because he seems like a passive, kind of like aggressive kind of guy, or like, underneath the surface, he quiet quitting. That's what I think.
Thank you, Sean. That's my point. Nicole wants her back bent. That's what I mean by that. It's not just in the sexual sense. I mean, just in the ethereal sense. Like, she wants him to take charge. But Chris is not the take charge type of guy. He's just not. He can be Chris's problem, and this is a problem. He will be forceful if you push him. The problem is you got to push him. And anybody that you push, when they push back, is usually in a negative or toxic way. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's not good.
No, it's not good, because I think the assertiveness that, that we're talking about right now, that we want to see from Chris, I don't think she's the type to literally lay down and say, okay, yes, we're going to go with what you go with. I think she's still going to have not pushback. I think she's still going to be very vocal. So he's never going to be able to take the full control, because I don't see that in her, that she's going to relinquish it. That display at the golf course, and obviously the dinosaur outfit coming at this stage. I mean, earlier on, the t-shirt thing was quite early. So you can kind of say, okay, you're not going to do that again, this, that, the other. But now you're talking about moving in after the process. Doing these things will make Chris be like, yeah, I did, I don't know. I don't think I want to sign up for this. And that's why I have concerns now. Because at this stage, you want to be as on the same page, and as you want to be getting on as well as you can, right? You want to make a relationship work after the camera stop rolling. So give an example of what life is going to look like with you when the cameras stop rolling. That's what you should be trying to gear your mind to. And if this is it, punishment, outfit, go sit in the corner type attitude, and if she is wanting a level of control, I think he's shown that he puts his foot down on occasion, but again, he also, on the flip side of that, he gives in to her to keep the peace, because he seems like a peaceful guy. He doesn't seem like he wants confrontation at all. If he cried over the dogs like he did earlier on in the season, an argument with Nicole, if she's putting him out or she's, making him do things as punishments, listen, this guy is fragile enough to start crying over those type of things. And that's not going to be a good place for him to be in mentally. and it's gonna break down their communication because he's gonna feel like he has to walk on eggshells in order to avoid upsetting her and feeling her wrath. So yeah, Nicole is self-sabotaging at a very critical point. If you're talking about discussing living together, living arrangements, man, you have to show up in a way where he's going to look forward to spending that time with you and waking up with you and going to sleep with you every day. Not potentially thinking, oh no, she's going to be outbursts and so anxious around me all the time. It's going to put him on edge. So I don't think that's a good look. A very counterproductive move by Nicole.
Somebody in the comments wants to know what BDE is.
Big D energy.
At that?
Okay. There it is. There ain't no way else. Big D energy. That's what it is. Chris don't really have it. He doesn't. I'm not saying physically. I'm just saying spiritually, emotionally, he doesn't present that.
Spiritually, he don't have spiritual BDE.
Nah, he doesn't. He
don't put the spirit in this. Don't put the spirit.
But that's a real thing. You can spiritually and emotionally have that energy. You have the energy that people put like this. Let's keep it real. Clint has BDE energy. Clint has BDE energy because of the way he carries himself.
It's a confidence thing. Clint's very confident. And I mean, when you look at Chris, when he, was when he stripped down and he's in the pool jacuzzi type, like you can see he's not really a gym guy. In fact, he's the opposite of a gym guy, right? Now, she likes him for who he is, but it doesn't allow him to feel emboldened and be comfortable with who he is, if that makes sense. He strikes me as someone who is quite down on himself, as well as having a low energy affect. Nicole's definitely the live wire, but unfortunately, I don't see Chris ever changing that at this stage. Now, when they do eventually get to decision day, you have a lot of plus points. Like I said, they're far more advanced than the other couples, and from early out as well, they established that they like each other and they cross certain bases. They hit certain bases very quickly, and they've also listened to each other and understand each other a lot more than some of the other couples do. But again, this is a case of opposites attract, and that's going to be the problem, because like this BDE, Chris has never displayed that. So if that's what Nicole's looking for, she's not going to find it in him, and he's not going to get a personality transplant. He needs to get to the root cause of why his effect is so low. That will probably change some things, but I don't think he's going to have the confidence or the get up and go like Clint, for example. I think that's wishful thinking. Clint, yeah, go ahead.
No, I was going to say real quick to everyone, ask a quick question. Have you noticed that this has been low-key a theme throughout this season? Because this is the same issue we having with SHAQ and KIRSTEN. He doesn't give off BDE energy. He gives off diva energy. Not trying to say nothing bad about it, this and that third, but that's what he gives off.
What?
Aries gives off. It's the same issue.
Wait,
with KIRSTEN and SHAQ.
Wait,
no. He gives off what kind of energy?
Diva energy.
Well, you mean like the D, the letter grade, the D?
No, DIVA. Diva, like Mariah Carey.
Oh,
like
diva.
Diva. Yes, he gives off diva energy.
Trey, you wear me out. You woo, Trey.
Am I lying though? Am
But
I
I
lying?
actually think all the guys, except for maybe Clint, I agree with you on Clint with the
Clinton Harris.
BDE.
Clinton
I
Harris.
think Harris does not give off BDE at
Listen,
all.
Aris is similar to Chris.
I'm
He's
sorry.
similar.
You know what?
Is-
Okay, I might concede to
Harris
that.
does
I
not give
might
off
concede to that.
BDE. Harris wants a woman to have D energy. He wants a woman to be all like Harris wants a woman to be what's it called? Whatever you call, I can't think of the name. What did you
Well,
say? Be
in
more
Crystal,
He wants a
Well,
dominatrix.
Batman.
He wants a
Aris
dominatrix.
Aris wants his back then.
Harris is doctor. Yes.
Listen,
Y'all
Listen.
are going off the rails.
I was I was gonna bring out my nerd.
Not on my watch. Not on my watch.
You were having so much fun. I'm glad you're having a good time.
Listen, I was gonna bring out my nerd side. This is why I say a backbender. Avatar: The Last Airbender. Aang was a backbender. He was a very sensitive young man, cared about a lot of things, could come off a certain type of way. But when it came to Katara, he was a backbender. He's
Game over.
Yeah, Trey, you got it.
yeah, I'm going in the
Yeah,
woods.
You gotta
I'm
go.
going in the woods.
You gotta
What?
go because I could.
you
I
know
couldn't
what-
follow you. I could not follow you there,
Listen,
Trey.
People
You done
who
lost
know,
me, and I don't want to be found. I don't want to be
people
found.
who know
You
will
said,
know.
You went way out with that.
People who know will know. You know the funny thing is, JR is laughing his behind off because he knows. JR is laughing his behind off because he knows. He know where I'm going to. He
don't know
he
where
seen
you
it.
go.
He
You
know
don't
it.
even know where you're going. So
Oh, I know.
JR don't know where you're going.
I know where I'm going with it.
Yeah.
JR know what I'm talking about. The way he laughing, I
has
can see
no
it.
clue. Trust
He
me.
know what I'm
has no
talking
clue.
about.
No. Don't bring him into your madness. He has no clue what you're talking about, Trey. None of us
Sometimes
do.
we need a little madness to push the world forward. Let's get mad with it at times. Come on.
What? Trey, good day. All right.
Sometimes, but
So we're gonna have a 1 minute summation on Chris and Nicole,
Hey.
and then we're gonna pick what song we want for them. We got about 11 songs to get through, but I'm tired, and y'all gonna get Kojo's channel shut down, and I can't have that on my watch as I just showed. So let's just whoever wants to start. I don't think JR is in a position to start at the moment. So Crystal, Trey, who wants to start your 1 minute summary and any final closing remarks about anybody?
JR been seeing Avatar.
My thing is with what's her name? Well, now I can't even think of their the people we were just talking about. Is she needs to calm down and she needs to let him take charge, and he needs to take charge. She needs to stop trying to control the situation, stop being so controlling, and stop trying to control every situation. And I don't know if it's, maybe she needs to see no, not maybe. She needs to see a therapist. And also she needs to stop controlling the situation. And he also needs to be more decisive and take initiative. That's it for them. Last minute on everyone else. I just want everybody needs therapy. Everybody needs therapy. And now I guess this week it was Sean's girlfriend's turn to be more needy because she was, why are you? I don't know if you like me. I don't know if you like me. Why don't you tell me you like me? And so that was that I guess it was her turn this week. So and yeah, so we all, I guess, they're just taking turns every week. Maybe they do need to stay together because 1 week it's him.
You're done. Thank you, Crystal. Appreciate
got
it. Who's next?
So I think that the couples are still mostly at a stage where, despite spending so much time together, despite spending so much time with the rest of the group who are going through the same experience, some of the challenges that still exist between them, it looks like it's going to be insurmountable. It's not going to be able to change up in the short space of time they have before decision day, you know. And some of them are to do with personality, some of them are to do with preference, and for some of them it's a combination of both of those. And the problem is, the one couple that I kind of said, okay, these two can work because at least they've got the attraction part, and they've got, you know, even they're in trouble right now. So it doesn't bode well for the rest of the couples who have more things to work on in order for them to work. So that's my quick summary.
All right, perfect timing. Trey, any final remarks?
Listen. Hey, doggy, how you doing? How you doing? Listen, this show has always been an exercise of certain personality types clashing together and what it looks like for the long run. We see some of ourselves in these couples. That's the reason why we get such strong opinions about them. But for the most part, we know who gonna make it and who ain't. You know, ain't no use of sugarcoating this. You know what I'm saying? Kirsten and SHAQ, they're trying to get on the same page and have been on the same page since day one. You know, Clinton Gina, she just kind of him from the get go. He's been trying to play catch up, just trying to be the nice guy. It is what it is. Move on. Jasmine and Eris, stop the cap. You don't like this girl like that. It's fine. I actually respected you more when you stood on that. Don't try to play around like, okay, we could have a chance. Because Jasmine, even though it's a little annoying that she's giving this energy, like, oh my God, this could work. Just let it go. Spare this woman. Spare this woman, please. Let her go on. And that last couple, Chris, he's just not a backbender. It's, you know, he's just not. He's just not a backbender. He doesn't have all four elements.
And thank you, Trey, to the MVP of the night with your backbending references. So we do appreciate the insight you shared willingly and lovingly with us. Yes. We appreciate you. On that note, we're going to go to the song choice. Now, y'all got a bunch of songs up in here. So,
JR, did you give your last summation? JR,
he did. Yeah, he did. So let's start at the Claudia. Claudia started with the first song recommendation. She said, Alexa, play Who Let the Dogs Out or In the Arms of an Angel. Oh no, my Alexa's going off. Jesus. No. Oh my God. That was you gotta be careful because she be listening. All right. Next,
play.
I think no, Crystal, don't do it because it's gonna trigger my Alexa. No more. No. Drives me crazy. I think that's Gnarls Barkley. Somebody else put it in the chat earlier too. So Crazy by Gnarls Barkley. So that would be number 3. Belle Biv DeVoe, Poison, number 4. Jesus. This is another one, In the Arms of the Angel, but we got that. I don't know what here from this dark, cold hotel room. I don't know. 5 is Ambose by Khalees. I like that. Emotions by Destiny's Child.
Mm.
You Drive Me Crazy, another crazy reference. Britney Spears. All right. We got our very own Trey Mack with his Sleeping with a Broken Heart by Alicia Keys. Then we've got I'm a Wreck. I don't know what that BB Rexa. I don't know that song. She's a Maniac. She's the Man Eater. Trey, what was I didn't know how your Floetry song played. It's late. It's getting late. I don't understand how that tied to them, but
Nah, that was in the beginning. I was like, yo, y'all start this chat late as I don't know what.
Okay, so that wasn't a reference.
Nah.
There's a song, Run Rabbit Run. James L also had a movie reference, Get Out. Claudia had another one, Murder, She Wrote. Then there's, y'all gonna put Nicole in the crazy bucket. Drive Myself Crazy by NSYNC. Crystal, you had Crazy Love. That's Crazy Love. I'm not gonna sing it. My vocals, me. I need to, get my falsetto together. But that's a good one. Then we got Justin Timberlake, another one, Cry Me a River. And then last but not least, I had Fall by Davido. Baby, are you done talking? So, yes. So put your favorite song reference in the chat. At this point, I done lost count of the numbers.
So Gone by Monica. That's fire.
So Gone.
So Gone by Monica. That is fire.
So gone over you.
Oh, Crystal. Whoa. Wait a minute. Oh, wait a minute.
I actually can do better than that. I'm sorry. It's late. But
ooh, that note was beautiful. All right now. Let's get it now. New Monica. Woo!
What's Trapped by Colonel Abraham? How's that song go, JR?
You got to ask Alexa, Sean.
No. We're not Trey, they said we need a backbending song for you. Good stuff. So I think we had a good time. We are at 3 hours and 20 plus minutes. So it's time to, wrap this good thing up. I'm going to do my best to give us a benediction, but I want to just shout out to the great panelists who, really helped us hold it down. Our good brother Kojo had a pending engagement, and then he had a date with this girl whose initials are BED. So, he had a hot date and he wasn't going to be late. Can't keep BED waiting, So, we talked about BDE. He couldn't wait for BED. So there you have it. That's, what he's getting into tonight. That's his hot date. So there you have it. I have some song selections of my very own for some of our couples that we didn't really get to. So we talked about Jasmine and Aris, and I think is, let it go. And if you don't want me, then don't talk to me. That Fantasia song always hits. It hits right. If you don't want me, then don't talk to me. Aris, please just stop talking to her. Don't give her any more hope, Aris. You gotta just let her go, and send her that remix, okay? And then when it comes to Gina and Clint, we done coined them songs. Listen, if you think you're lonely now, Wait until Clint is gone, Gina. Wait until tonight when you ain't got nobody but the dog and Clint is gone. And the dog gonna be looking for Clint in the daylight. So, Gina, sometimes, we in a good relationship. We just let's not ruin it. Let's not make it about them. And let's look in that mirror and see what the mirror is reflecting back on ourselves. So very, very important, right? When we talk about our favorite couple, our hotly debated couple, KIRSTEN and SHAQ, listen, what she needs from you, SHAQ, is understanding. And if we don't communicate, you don't hear what I say. So we need understanding in that relationship. We need understanding on both sides of the fence. We both need to be understood. We both need to make room for each other in relationships, right? There needs to be balance. I think if there's anything poignant that KIRSTEN has said this whole season, is balance is important, ladies and gentlemen, in your relationships. It can't be a one-sided, seesaw that's always tipped in the other person's favor. You have to be willing to give, as well as you want to be the recipient, right? So all very important things. Appreciate you, audience. You guys came out up to almost 400 strong tonight. So we appreciate you. We appreciate everybody in the chat. We appreciate all the comments, all the engagement. Please like, share, and subscribe to help this channel grow. Check out some of the other commentary. Kojo was putting in some great work today. If you haven't seen it, there is a great impromptu live that wound up happening between him and Ayana from Love is Blind. So for all the Love is Blind fans out, head on over, check out that live that he did about Ayana and Jared, because Ayana actually came on and they had a great conversation. I was able to hear it today on my way home from work. So please check that out. Support all of our wonderful panelists here. Please head on over to IG, give me a little follow. I got my, trying to grow my little following here, trying to grow my little thing on the IG side of the house. We got Trey. Trey just stays in the cut. He graces us with his presence, drops some gems on us, gives us some Treyisms. But if you want to seek him out, he can be found. But, it's not that easy to find the brother. And that's the way he likes it, an air mystery, Then we've got Crystal Lynette. Please go follow her over at Crystal Lynette on YouTube. Support her, support our good sister. She is out here supporting us and doing the work on her own channel. JR, our good brother, he does a lot of things. We may not, always hear about what JR does, but he's a man of many talents. He doesn't just vacate and come back to us glowing. He's a man of many talents. So check him out on JRX TV on YouTube and Instagram. And ladies, by the way, he's known to be able to give a good workout. And I mean, literally, because he is a fitness influencer and instructor. So, if you need a good workout, hey, give our good brother a call. He can help you out. And again, thank you all. Have a great night. I'm going to do my best to not try to end this live, but give y'all what y'all always, look forward to having before we end the live. So let me go queue up our favorites. And, we're going to bid y'all adieu tonight. Appreciate y'all. Love you.
I'm leaving here with something. You know what I mean? I'm from around the way. I'm leaving with something.
Good night, everybody. Stay blessed. We appreciate y'all.
3 a.m. conversations. Break out the paint.